Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can see and hear me. I never know. Technology is very strange. Casey Durango here of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I have lost 97.4 pounds. Yes, still, since starting the ketogenic protocol, and how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. This is a live broadcast. And so if you are seeing this a time other than about noon Eastern Standard Time and about whenever we finish on Saturday, the 23rd of November, it is not live. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you for those who have shown up. And I do hope you can see and hear me. It's always a question. I can see some folks are already commenting. Good morning. Hey, Nancy. Very nice to see you. Today's topic is, again, we've talked about this before, where I've talked and you've written. Beyond the scale. Beyond the scale. It is very common and understandable that many people start this protocol because they just are so tired of being overweight or obese or uncomfortable in their own skin. And so they want to lose weight. And the way we measure that is by stepping on a scale. There are so many benefits. There are so many life-changing factors when we start fueling our bodies with that which we were almost certainly designed to consume. Thank you, Cuckoo. Cuckoo is a little bit late. There are almost immediately, from my experience, and please keep in mind that I can only share with you my experience, my understanding of the protocol. I'm not a medical provider. I'm not a researcher. I'm a intelligent, highly educated, well-motivated, or should be well-educated, highly motivated layperson who was perfectly spherical and overweight for 30 years, starting in my mid-20s up to my mid-50s, and I'd given up on losing weight. So I'm going to share with you my experience. When I started doing this, because I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, that was my motivator. I'd given up on losing weight. I knew that that was the next step. High blood pressure, high blood glucose, certainly overweight, not feeling well physically, joint pain, lost my personality essentially, which is a pretty good personality. I missed it. And those around me missed it. I just didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. And I came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman of Duke. And it changed my life. That video changed my life. The next time I put food in my mouth, I left off the carbs. The protocol is keep your carbohydrate intake 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. If it's not on page 4 per Dr. Westman, don't eat it. And by the way, there are links to all sorts of things I'll be referencing below. But essentially, eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. That's the sum total of the protocol. Not grams of fat, not grams of protein, not percentages of anything, not macros, the M word. At the beginning, you don't even have to count calories. Calories count, but you don't have to count them. Somebody wrote that. I like that. We don't have, calories count, we just don't have to count them. And almost immediately, like within 2 weeks, I realized that my joint pain in my hands and my shoulders and my neck, gone. That had nothing to do with weight loss. There was no reason that losing, and I lost a little bit of weight. It was not much in a couple of weeks. I'm a normal loser, by the way. 47 pounds the first year. And I had plenty to lose because I'm 5'1". So imagine an extra, actually, it's a little over 100 pounds, but 97.4 since I started that day in January 2014. I'm 5'1". So imagine an extra 100 pounds on this frame. I had plenty to lose. I lost 47 pounds the first year, thrilled with it. The next 2 years I lost the next 50 pounds. So don't begrudge yourself if you're losing a half a pound a week. I was losing on average less than a pound a week for the first year. And then the next 2 years, way less than that. But joint pain disappeared. Now, there are downstream effects of this. If you are in less pain physically, You do more things. You kind of can re-enter your life. Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's cross stitch. Maybe it's typing and writing the great American novel. Things that just hurt too much to do before. You start feeling better about yourself, even though you're older than you were. We've all been told, well, you're no spring chicken. Of course you feel bad. Plus, look at you, you're so fat. I mean, people don't say that out loud, but that's what they're thinking. So that's one of the benefits. And I can see people typing, and I will, hey, Christy Pierre, hey, I will turn my attention to commenters. I appreciate people who show up and make comments. I do appreciate it, but I do want to get a spiel out, then I'll turn to comments, then we'll talk about other things. But there's even beyond that. So yes, losing weight, fantastic. Wearing clothes that you don't have to buy in a specialty department or get mail order. Right. Now, I do actually get my clothes mail order. I still use Stitch Fix, but it's not mail order like I can't get it anywhere else. I just like my stylist, and they send me great clothes, which I never would have purchased myself. And I don't like to shop. So yeah, losing weight is great. Feeling better, getting off of medications. One of my favorite before and after photographs, everybody has the before photos where you're, and then the after, and you're like this. One of my favorite ones, someone shared their palm with 13 pills and tablets in it. And they wrote before keto. The after was 1/2 of a pill after keto. Just think about the downstream effects of that. Think of all the pharmaceutical interactions of 13 medications, not to mention the cost. Even if it's covered by insurance, someone is paying for it. Pharmaceutical companies are not known for their generosity. They're making money. Someone's paying for it. But just think what's going on inside your body. So you have to take this medication to counteract the first 3 medications, right? So there's that. But even beyond the physical piece of it, here's where I really kind of want to talk about it. When we start to feel better, we can also start to feel better about ourselves as people. Many of us, and I will, again, all I can do is tell you my experience. I lost myself for a long time. In my youth, in my childhood, I was a gregarious, I was a cute, funny, outspoken kid, comfortable with other people. I was a gregarious, outspoken, happy adolescent, and then young teen, and then into high school, and then into college. Now, I had, like many of us, even though I was quite tiny by the time I got to college, I still had the pudgy girl thing. That's a whole other discussion. Even though I wasn't pudgy, I just had, flesh on me when you're growing up and then before you get into puberty. But then when I hit my mid-20s and I put on so much weight, and it just wouldn't come off. I did the Jane Fonda. I'm 61 years old, so I did the Jane Fonda way back. I did the grapevines, if you remember that exercise we do. Whoop, 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 whoop. I tried the aerobics. I tried to move more, eat less. We all tried to move more, eat less. I tried the low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. I was hungry all the time. You can go to my blog and see my before photos. I would post them here if there's not a way to actually post them. And over time, I began to lose myself. I began to lose that gregarious, happy, optimistic person, which was too bad because she was pretty cool. She's what attracted my fantastic husband, my lovely mate. She's who, not what. Grammar counts. And then I got to a point where I really didn't know if I wanted to keep going. I have the best life of anyone I know, but I was not happy inside in that contained universe in my brain, I was not happy with myself. I was not happy with myself. I did not value myself. I was embarrassed. I felt I was letting my husband and my children down by being the person I was, looking the way I looked. I am all about body positivity. Many people are comfortable no matter their size, no matter their age. I was not one of those people. I felt physically bad, and I felt mentally, which is a mashup of emotional and mentally, I just didn't feel good. And I started to just retreat from my own life. So one of the victories that has nothing to do with the scale, well, I can't separate it. I'm not going to run an experiment and see if I put on a whole bunch of weight, knowing what I know now, would I still feel happy as I do now? I'm not running that experiment. But I found myself again. I felt better physically. Things didn't hurt. I can move through space more easily. Frankly, I could wear cuter clothes. I started putting on makeup again. You know, I didn't wear makeup for a long time because whether anyone was going to think it or not, I wanted to preclude anyone using the phrase in their brain or out of their mouths, well, that's just putting lipstick on a pig, like literally. So as I've said many times, I did the bag lady look to death. I didn't care about myself. I didn't value myself. So one of the great victories is that I value myself. This has actually been driven home for me in the last couple of days. Valuing myself as an individual and really being okay with anyone who doesn't value other people's efforts. It says more about them than it does about the person putting out the effort. I know people who know people who, after they felt better, lost some weight, got their energy back, applied for jobs they never would have applied for, applied for promotions they never would have applied for, left relationships they wouldn't have left. Not that that's a happy thing, but let's face it. If we think that all we deserve is this crappy relationship and we should be lucky that someone deigns to be with us, that's not a healthy relationship. So there are many, many, many downstream effects. Weight is great. I mean, losing weight is great. Weight is not great. Losing weight is great. Having that motivation of getting on the scale and you're down half a pound. Look, can I tell you what? I've been essentially, honestly, the same weight for 3 years. I'm totally fine. I would like to lose a little bit more, but that is for vanity and not particularly any reason. My husband's perfectly happy with me. I'm perfectly happy with me. I don't really need too much else. But the scale is not the most important indicator of value. I like myself better than I did 6 years ago. By the way, January 8th, 2020 will be 6 years. So if someone says it's not sustainable, you can just tell them, thank you so much for your input. We'll bless your heart, as we say in the South, which doesn't mean bless your heart. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to another channel, the Keto Mechanic. I actually was not familiar with this gentleman until a couple of days ago. He speaks truth to anger, truth to snark, truth to sarcasm. Check him out. The Keto Mechanic, fueled by fat. I want to give a shout out to that channel. I don't know whether he follows me or hears me or not, but check it out. We need more positivity in our world. There's enough snark. And also, I want to say, in this age of everybody gets a trophy, Some don't. Some people don't deserve trophies. Let's just face it. Not everybody on the team deserves a trophy. If you don't value yourself, if we don't value ourselves, why should anyone else? I've come to value myself. It's made all the difference. Now, I would like to turn my attention to some of you lovely folks who are taking the time to comment. I am going to give me 30 seconds. I want to thank patrons from patreon.com who have made it possible for me to go from my previous fairly lucrative career to doing this, which is less lucrative by far, but more rewarding. I could not do it without patrons. I have also opened, my channel has become eligible for membership. So if you see a join button below, if you're on a computer, you can't see it on mobile. Membership has its rewards, from stickies to personalized videos to polls, so you get to vote, and on public live streams, you might be the only one commenting. So anyway, thank you for that. And I want to thank everyone. Patreon is the big thing, though. I do about 20 videos a month at the $3 level and up for patrons only. And then we've got patron-only live streams, patron-only video group sessions, and one-on-ones. Wanda Landers. Wanda writes, I love Wanda. Hello, it's true about the meds and the type 2 diabetes and so many things. There are people with heart issues, AFib. There are people who have had who find that they have no or extremely reduced lupus flares. Lupus, a confounding disorder. And I love that you guys are talking to each other. Hey, Debbie Longenecker. Yep, have been shunned by many because of my now keto, low-carb, high-fat lifestyle. Been living this way 2 years now, down 74 pounds. Oh, 74.4 pounds. Every 10th of a pound counts. And have gained my health back. It's sad to hear some of the comments and criticism. Almost always, I will find... Marion, did we go to high school together? Marion King writes, got my husband type 2 onto keto, very low carbs, but he's not losing much, just hoping he won't give up. Losing is not the thing, Marion, immediately, because think about it this way. Jen became a member. Oh, Jen, you shouldn't have done that. Thank you. She's a Baconator. So you can see what happens when you're a member. You get all kinds of highlights and silly things. Plus you get emojis, which sadly look like me. But I had to come up with something. Remember that if we have a lot of healing to do from the inside out, it can take a while. Look at it this way. My husband is a home remodeler. If he's redoing a kitchen or a bathroom or living room, if he has to rip out a bunch of stuff, and then you find out when you've ripped out stuff, oh, you know what? By the way, you got termites, or you got dry rot, or this is not up to code. Or you've got to take care of the unsexy stuff first, because he's not about to do what some people do, which is just throw some plywood over it. He's going to fix it. That has to happen before all the sexy things like the granite countertops and the custom cabinets and the hardwood floors that are gleaming and the brushed nickel. So you've got to heal first from inside. So don't let him give up. Jen, you're too much. Now, what's Jen going to get? She's a Baconator. I can't remember, Jen. You get badges and things, and you get to answer polls. Hey, Colin. Colin is a patron. Thank you very much. Debbie, it's your life. Don't ever let others discourage you. You know what? Very often it's deflection. Very often what people are saying, particularly if they're saying it kind of in a not nice way, not complimentary, not encouraging, they're actually talking about themselves. If someone says to me, and it has happened, oh, Casey, don't bring her any food. She doesn't eat food. Well, clearly I eat food. Duh. What that person was possibly meaning was, please don't look at how much food I'm eating. As if anyone cares. It's no one's business what someone else does. It is no one's business what we eat. I don't get a vote on what anyone else eats. They don't get a vote on what I eat. Someone says, here, just one slice of cake won't hurt. Really? Are you going to take the insulin for me? Yeah, it will. It'll hurt me. Me eating one slice of cake won't hurt you, but it will hurt me. Some people can enjoy a slice of cake and be done with it. They never think about cake for another year. I am not that person. And I tend to think I'm more like everyone else. By the way, I do want to say about the membership that this is just for added contact. I will continue to do public content for as long as anyone listens. It's the same amount of public content. I'm surprised by people who complain about Patreon and membership that they've heard about through a public video. Dude, you just listen to a public video. Stop being a hater. Internal healing before external. Helena, a patron, a nurse, a wonderful person whose daughter is the one that applied for a promotion that she says she would not have applied for had she not lost a bunch of weight, felt better about herself, got her energy back. So Helena influenced her daughter. You never know who's listening, ever. You never know who's looking at what's happening, even if they never let you know. Talmud says, if you save one soul, you're said to have saved the world. Well, we may not be saving souls, but we might be preventing someone from losing their feet, or a kidney to diabetes, or their eyesight, or their dignity. Hey, Lori. May I call you Lee? Trying to keep up with the comments. Glad to support your amazing, Jen, your breath of fresh, honest air in this crazy keto world. You guys are very generous. Debbie writes, my husband joined me about 4 months ago into my journey and is no longer pre-diabetic. He is healthier and 45 pounds down. That is great. And by the way, ladies, we just have to own it that very often our male friends, partners, lovers, whatever, will get to their ideal weight in about 12 hours once they start. It's just the way it is. Lori writes, my cat, Big Max, is almost sitting on me. Dude, move over. Love to find out about people's lives. Karen Barnhart writes, we're going to have Thanksgiving with my son and his wife, and I think he is stressing over feeding me. He doesn't understand. His smoked turkey is all I need, along with just being with family. Brava. Absolutely. I can't remember if I've reposted it or not, honestly. But on my blog and on YouTube, I posted, I think it was from 2 years ago. It would have been 2 years ago because our little granddaughter was born. She's just turned 2. And it was Thanksgiving and the family, the kids. I have 3 grown children, everyone happy in relationships and a couple of grandkids. And I made a lot of food. Didn't matter what it was. No one goes hungry. No one's complaining. No one's complaining if there aren't biscuits because there's a lot of food. No one goes hungry. Plus my family's pretty much on board with stuff. Anywho, so I had the linen tablecloth and the fine china and everything. And I realized at the end of the meal, we were all sitting around this nice, beautiful dining room setting, and my husband was at the opposite end, and our kids and their partners were there. The wine was flowing, the food was being passed, and I had my granddaughter in my lap. And not through any plan, by the end of it, once the kids got up and started clearing the table, because they were raised right, I realized I hadn't eaten anything. And I didn't care. It was delightful. to listen to my adult children having adult conversations or silly conversations. It didn't matter. Watching the love that my husband, he's not a big talker, as he beamed looking at his adult children. It's about being together. It's about being together. If you decide to eat whatever you want, that is fine. No one gets a vote on what you eat, as long as it's your decision and you don't feel like you've been sucked into something you were not wanting to do. If it happens, it happens. Try to avoid it. As Dr. Westman says, don't let a holiday turn into a holly week, turning into a holly month. By the way, speaking of Dr. Westman, links below. Dr. Westman's Keto retreat in Beaufort, North Carolina in January of next year. Save the date. Go Keto with Casey Roadshow in Tarpon Springs, Florida, February of next year. The Durham support group meeting, the first Tuesday of every month. It's free at the Durham Hilton near Duke. Second Monday of the month. Go Keto with Casey meetup at Wine Styles at Friendly, free. Wednesday wine days with Amy Berger and myself, live stream. So enjoy that. So there are a lot of events that will be going on. And if you're not near one, start one yourself. You never know who you might impact. The Christian keto gal writes, when I eat low carb and then eat sugar, I feel sick. I saw a string. Can't remember where it was. It might have been under one of my YouTube videos. And I thought, this is a strange thing. Someone says, I'm going to go ahead and, no, it was on a Reddit. I am planning on eating, I'm going to go ahead and go off plan for Thanksgiving. Now, listen to this. I'm going to go off plan for Thanksgiving and eat carbs. I understand from people who have done it that they feel so sick afterwards. They feel just gross and awful. But that doesn't stop this person. He says, how should I prepare for it? Should I start carb loading to get to that point? Does anyone else think of the phrase cognitive dissonance when you hear that? Should I start carb loading to prepare myself to eat a bunch of food that I know will make me feel awful? Do what you want to do. Sorry about my hair. By the way, may I get some feedback? Today on the thumbnail, I put a little kind of emoji of myself. I hope you realize that was supposed to be me with my glasses doing this. Can I get some feedback on that? I'm thinking that might be a little thing. Hey, Patricia, I'm borderline diabetic and losing weight is slow, but I'm losing and not gaining. There you go. There were years when, the new year was coming and I'd gotten to the point where just let me lose 10 pounds this year. And it wouldn't happen. I'd put on 3 pounds by the end of the year. Just step back and look at that. I'm losing and not gaining. I'm losing weight. Isn't that fantastic. Hey, Nancy Hansen. It's hard to convince my husband that fat is the enemy. I think you meant that fat is not the enemy. Yeah, it's deeply ingrained. And there are medical providers who still say, saturated fat and all that. Something there. What do I got? And that's going to just someone's going to have to, or maybe not everyone needs this protocol, right? There are people that are healthy, happy, fit, active, and they are vegans or vegetarians or do very low fat and exercise a lot. They do the Biggest Loser protocol. There are many paths that can lead to the same destination. I can only tell you that for me, this is the only thing that has ever worked. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Lori? Oh my gosh, you got a super sticker. You're the first person, Lee. You are the first person to do that. These are, I don't even know how you do it, but they're super stickers or something. You are so cute. Okay, thank you, Michelle. You are the emoji looks cute. Thank you. Nick P writes, I've been doing keto since June this year, though, so hopefully it will grow. Okay, I must have missed a previous comment. I apologize. Keto, hey, Barbara Horsch, keto took away my joint pain. Think of all the medications that people take for joint pain. And then think about what those medications do when it was just food. Now, the ketogenic protocol cannot fix everything, right? I'm still really short. And sometimes I pull my sciatic nerve and it hurts. And some days I still have the blues, but nothing like before. I was chronically, clinically depressed. And it was, if anyone has ever experienced depression, there's no way to describe it. It is like trying to describe to someone who is blind what the color orange looks like. It just is. I'm that sticker is just killing me, Lee. May I call you Lee, or do you prefer Lori? But still, I'm going to get the blues. My husband's been out of the country for over a month. He's not even coming back till next week. I was lonely. I made a video about that. I was lonely. I didn't like it. I got over it. I mean, he's now we're on the downhill swing. He'll be home soon. Mona Tufan writes, it's thankful for me that I'm eventually using the phrase when I lose weight, not if I lose weight. Bingo. For years, I used if it was sad. Now I believe. This is huge. I am deeply happy now. Mona, thank you for sharing that. That is one of the, oh my goodness. That is one of the words matter. The words we use on ourselves matter. Around Go Keto with Casey, around Patreon, we try to say I'm on a plateau or a stall. I'm hovering, because that indicates I'm hovering until I land. I encourage people, and I had to do this. I had to learn to do this. When someone says, oh, wow, you look great. People say, oh, well, thanks, but I've got a long way to go. Because we don't want to own it. We don't want to value ourselves. We don't want to own ourselves, our victories. Someone says, wow, you've lost weight. You look great. Here's how I respond. Thank you. I feel great. Don't qualify. You say, well, I've lost 10 pounds, but I know it's mostly water. So what? Water weighs a lot. Who cares? And Patricia, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for, I don't know if that was a super chat or a, thank you. Golly. Our words matter. But Moni, you put it beautifully. Now I believe. Someone asked me how long I was doing this before I realized it was different. And I've asked other people this. It seems to be about 6 weeks. About 6 weeks in, you say, okay, this is weird. 6 weeks, I have lost weight and I'm not hungry. And my appetite is gone and I feel good. This is weird. About 6 weeks in, and there is that switch that is flipped from if I lose weight to when I lose weight. This is the same reason I recommend that people get rid of their fat clothes. When you're truly, when they're hanging off of you like this, donate them. Get rid of them. Because somewhere in the back of your mind, if you keep them, there's some kind of message saying, I might need them again. You don't want to plant that seed in your head. I am so grateful to you people, honestly. Um, okay, so I'm going to start to wrap up. Thank you. But I did want to remind Durham support group meeting, free, free, free. Go Keto with Casey meetup, free, free, free. Wednesday wine days with Amy Berger and me, not quite free, but not very expensive, $5. And we split it 2 ways after fees are taken out. So we're not going to retire on this. Dr. Westman's Keto Retreat in Beaufort, North Carolina. Go Keto with Casey Roadshow in Tarpon Springs, Florida in February. And the Go Keto with Casey Cruise. And by the way, both the Roadshow and the cruise, Dr. Eric Westman and Amy Berger will be there. And on the cruise, so will Jackie Eberstein. So we're going to have some great times. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm having trouble actually seeing these. Thank you so much for your words. Diane Salyers writes, for me, it was when my energy went through the roof, right? You go from needing a nap on the sofa at 3 p.m. to like, what do I do next? The sleep is so much better. Okay, Patricia writes, my goal is I want to wear a plaid jumper and tights and not look like a blimp. Now I'm going to guess a jumper. Is that a sweater? Are you in the UK? Because we call them sweaters here, cardigans. But I think a jumper is a sweater. All right. Is there anything else? Hey, Dr. Father Napier, I've lost 90 pounds in 3 years. Who would have ever thought it? Who would have ever thought it? My legs don't hurt so much. I can walk and have fun now with my dog, right? Things like walking your dog, playing with your grandchildren on the floor, being able to get up off the floor without having to like roll over, gardening, knitting, being able to fit behind the steering wheel of your car without it like pushing. Thank you, friends. I am going to sign off. Another shout out to the Keto Mechanic. He did something that I really appreciated. I won't go into the details. It's a small thing, but let's remember what we put out to the universe might come back to us. And if you're putting out positivity, hopefully you get it back. Not every single day. But if you're putting out ugliness and snark and sarcasm, that might come back to you as well. And I really admire people who speak truth to that negativity. So go check out the Keto Mechanic. Plus, he does crafts. I love that. Okay. Namaste. Have a lovely one. I won't be here next week. I'm going to be spending the day with my family because they're coming on Saturday for Thanksgiving. Have a great one. I'll see you later.